My husband doesn't know the mark on my face is a virginity mark. He finds me ugly and has never consummated our marriage in the 3 years we've been married. Since he wants to take a cowwife and is willing to raise someone else's child, then I'll grant him his wish. I found Xiao Yunlan, who's had a crush on me for over 10 years and has already become my man. Issue an imperial edict. I want a divorce. Later, Du Qing looked at me, devastatingly beautiful and standing shoulder to shoulder with His Majesty the Emperor, and fell into a frenzy. Miss, the old madam has sent someone to ask you to go to Songhe Hall. Just now, the second master brought a woman back, asking you to go now. It must be about the matter of the cowwife. He just mentioned it to me yesterday, and today he's already brought her back. It seems they're both quite anxious. Xilian, you continue to take inventory of my dowry. Kaiwei, come with me to Songhe Hall. Miss, master only passed away half a month ago, and for them to act like this is truly going too far. Kaiwei's eyes started to turn red with anger. It was already not easy for Du Qing to endure for 3 years. For him to be so impatient now is understandable. Miss, how can you be so calm and composed about this? I'm about to die from anger. How did I do it? Once your heart is dead set against someone, you can naturally do it. I stepped into the main hall, and the few people who had been talking and laughing just a moment ago instantly fell silent. Mother, I curtsied to my mother-in-law at the head of the room, then turned to Du Qing on the side. Before I could even speak, a cry of alarm suddenly rang out. I looked at the delicate woman who was practically hanging on to Du Qing. I saw the woman trembling, not daring to look at me, as if I were some kind of monster. Her delicate, helpless, and aggrieved appearance was truly pitiable, and her voice even had a sob in it. I suddenly saw the mark on sister's face and lost my composure a bit. It's all my fault for being so timid. I hope sister can forgive me. Please don't blame me. Du Qing quickly soothed the woman in a soft voice, his face showing a gentleness he had never shown me. Wan Ning, don't be afraid. Her face is just a bit scary. She won't do anything to you. After speaking, he turned to me again, his brows furrowed and his tone impatient. Wan Ning is timid. From now on, remember to wear your veil when you leave your courtyard so you don't startle her. Wan Ning is with child now. She can't take a scare from you. My mother-in-law also immediately scolded me. Qing is right. Qing you've been married into our Du family for 3 years and have been barren. Now that our Du family is finally about to have a new addition, there absolutely can't be any mistakes. From today on, wear a veil when you go out, so everyone can be at ease. Yes, Qing, let me, your sister-in-law, also speak frankly. Your face, it was fine not to wear a veil before, but now that Wan Ning is pregnant, you have to be more careful. You can't disregard the Du family's heir just because you're jealous of Wan Ning's pregnancy. Humph, how dare she? She can't give birth herself, yet she won't let Qing take a concubine. Now that our Du family has finally gotten an heir, how does she have the face to be jealous? My mother-in-law's words were as sharp and mean as they had been these past few days. I looked at Du Qing, who was so guilty he didn't dare to meet my eyes. Lu Wanning noticed Du Qing's strangeness, and seeing the man she considered her whole world acting somewhat weak in front of me, she immediately became jealous and resentful of me. "Io!" Lu Wanning cried out, her face full of pain, clutching her stomach. "Wanning, what's wrong with you? Is your stomach bothering you?" Du Qing's face was full of anxiety. Once, I had thought he was naturally cold and emotionless, but it turns out that's not the case in front of others. I think just now, Lu Wanning glanced slightly at me, then quickly turned away, not daring to look. I might have disturbed the fetus. My stomach hurts a bit now. Although Lu Wanning didn't state the reason, everyone knew she had disturbed her fetus because I had scared her. Du Qing glanced at me, the look of disgust in his eyes even more obvious than before. "Oh my, this is terrible." Sister-in-law's sharp voice rang out. "Qingyue, quickly have Kai Lian come over to check on Wanning. Wanning's condition cannot be taken lightly right now." Mother-in-law's tone was even more unfriendly. "Remember to have that maid of yours bring a veil for you. Kai Wei, go and get Kai Lian." "Madam." In front of outsiders, Kai Wei still addresses me as madam, to avoid giving anyone something to hold against us. "It's fine, go ahead." My mother-in-law was right about one thing. Lu Wanning's current condition cannot be treated carelessly. If she were to miscarry now, Du Qing wouldn't be able to marry a cowwife, and the Du family would lose the chance to raise someone else's child. What a pity. Although I know Lu Wanning is faking it, it's a good opportunity to have Kai Lian check on her physical condition. Thinking of the inside story idea uncovered, I sneered inwardly. Lu Wanning is really audacious, daring to pass off a hooligan-like man's child as Du Qing's. I'm just waiting for the day the good show begins. Before long, Kai Lian and Kai Wei came over together. Kai Lian went directly to take Lu Waning's pulse, while Kai Wei stood by my side. Where's Thevel? Madam. Seeing my insistence, Kai Wei reluctantly took out the veil. Just as I put on the veil, Du Qing happened to turn his head. He looked slightly stunned when he saw me, a trace of pity flashing in his eyes, which was immediately replaced by his usual disgust. After finishing taking the pulse, Kai Lian met my gaze for a moment. I gave her a look, and Kai Lian understood. She got up and replying to the masters. Miss Liu's body is fine. She is just a little tired. A bit of rest will suffice. What could she be tired from so early in the morning? Unless, my mother-in-law didn't doubt Kai Lian's words. After all, Kai Lian had been taking care of her health for 3 years, so she still trusted her very much. My mother-in-law shot Lu Waning a dissatisfied glance. You just got pregnant. Suck it up. It won't kill you. If anything happens to my eldest grandson, then you can forget about marrying in. Lu Waning was so embarrassed she wished she could find a hole to crawl into. My mother-in-law ignored her and said to Kai Lian, prescribe some nourishing medicine for her. Old madam, since Miss Lu is physically fine, it's best she doesn't take any medicine. After all medicine is somewhat toxic. When the old madam heard this, she thought it made sense and that she couldn't harm her precious eldest grandson. She turned and instructed me, then arrange a place for her to live, and let her go rest first. The moment Lu Waning heard this, her stomach stopped hurting, and she spoke with renewed vigor. I've just arrived in the mansion and am not familiar with the surroundings. I'd like to be a little closer to the second master. Just let Waning live in the autumn water pavilion. The environment there is nice, good for her pregnancy. Du Qing looked at me. You go get it tidied up. Waning will come with me to rest at Liam's residence for now. With that, Du Qing helped Lu Waning leave. Alright, you two don't just stand here. Go get busy. Yes, mother. Coming out of the pine crane hall, my sister-in-law deliberately tried to stir up trouble in my ear. Qingyue, I really didn't expect the second master to let Lu Waning live in the autumn water pavilion. That's the best courtyard in the entire mansion. Even you, the mistress of the house, haven't been able to live in it. If eldest sister-in-law is so envious, why don't you go tell the second master? I'm not the one who can make the decision. After saying that, I gave Kai Wei a look to block eldest sister-in-law and quickly walked away. The eldest madam is really good at causing trouble. Xilian couldn't stand this family either. It's not like she's been brainless for just a day or two. Du Qing had one brother in total, an elder brother who was 6 years older than him. His elder brother passed away from illness the year before Du Qing placed third in the imperial examinations. Because he had been frail and sickly since childhood, he didn't leave behind any children after he died. After the elder brother died, the eldest sister-in-law, who was only 2 years older than Du Qing, set her sights on her younger brother-in-law, wanting him to carry on both family lines. The old madam had the same idea, but Du Qing disliked his sister-in-law for being too vulgar and stupid, so he was unwilling. However, his eldest sister-in-law didn't want to give up. To please Du Qing, she would agree with whatever he said or did. Today was a rare occasion for her to be dissatisfied with this matter. It seems Lu Waning has made her feel a strong sense of crisis. In the evening, just after dinner, Songha Hall sent someone over again. Second madam, the old madam requests your presence to discuss an important matter. I know. After the person left, Kai Wei grumbled while helping me straighten my clothes. What could be so important that it can't wait until tomorrow? I suppose it really can't wait. The marriage matter was supposed to be discussed this morning, but because Lu Waning intentionally kicked up a fuss, we didn't get to talk about it. Her belly couldn't wait, but the act had to be played out completely, so we could only rest until the evening to discuss it. I'm afraid no matter how late it gets, she has to get this matter settled today. The Longji courtyard I live in is a bit more remote, so when I arrived at Songha Hall, everyone was already there. Qingyue, I have already had someone look at the dates. The 8th of next month is an auspicious day, suitable for a wedding. Aiching and Waning's wedding will be set for that day. You should make the arrangements these next few days. Mother, I'm afraid I cannot make the arrangements. Su Qingyue, there's a limit to your jealousy. Waning is already carrying my child. Even if you don't agree, she will marry into this family. Second master, you misunderstand. I don't disagree. It's just that from now until the 8th, there are only 10 days left. I am not feeling well and am unable to manage it. Humph. Isn't the excuse you've come up with a little too clumsy? Has the second master forgotten how long it's been since my father passed away? Du Qing was suddenly speechless. He had indeed overlooked it. The grand tutor had just passed away half a month ago, and Su Qingyue had personally handled all the funeral arrangements during that time. Having lost her beloved father and toiled over so many things, Any normal person would not be able to bear it, but Ducheng couldn't admit he forgot. Humph. As long as you're not dissatisfied with me marrying Wanning, that's fine. Ducheng finished speaking and turned to his mother. I'll have to trouble you to handle my marriage. Mother, the old lady nodded reluctantly. In that case, I will hand the management of the household back to mother tomorrow, I said. The old lady immediately perked up upon hearing this, a flash of joy on her face, but she suppressed it to save face. That's fine too. You get some good rest for now, and take back the household management when you've recovered. I sneered inwardly. Ever since I married into the Du family, my mother-in-law has been in poor health, and the eldest branch only had my sister-in-law, who had little say, so the management of the household was handed to me. The Du family's expenses have all been subsidized by my dowry, yet my mother-in-law thought the Du family had truly become wealthy these past few years. After her health improved, she began to covet the household management rights, but since I made no mistakes in managing the household, she had no good reason to ask for them. Now that I'm giving up the management rights, it's just what she wants. I just wonder what her expression will be during the handover tomorrow. Oh, right. Ducheng suddenly spoke. You entered the family first, so you're the elder sister. Remember to prepare a gift for Wanning. Upon hearing this, Lu Wanning immediately spoke up. Wanning thanks you in advance, elder sister, making me prepare a gift for my husband's cowwife. Only people from their Du family could do such a thing. Don't worry, little sister. I will definitely give you a grand gift when the time comes. That's for the best. Ducheng didn't catch the hidden meaning in my words, and was quite satisfied with my sensibleness. With a high and mighty attitude, he nodded at me as if bestowing a favor. There's nothing for you to do. Go back. I glanced at Lu Wanning's smug face, got up and left. The next day, when mother-in-law saw the amount of silver in the household accounts, her face was full of disbelief. How can there be only this little silver? Immediately after, she was burning with rage. Speak. Did you secretly pocket it? You must be joking. Mother, you know second master's salary, and as for the household's other income, every single transaction is recorded clearly, and the expenses are also recorded very clearly. Can't you see, mother, that your daughter-in-law has to supplement with a lot of my dowry every month? How can you speak of me secretly pocketing anything? I looked at my mother-in-law's ugly expression and continued. Since I took over managing the household, over the past 3 years, I have subsidized the household with a total of 10,000 taels. Now that the management authority has been handed over to you, mother, please reimburse me for this 10,000 taels later. Mother-in-law was originally angry about the small amount of silver in the accounts, but now hearing that she had to repay my dowry money, she couldn't be bothered to be angry anymore and immediately changed her tune. Qingyue, we're all family. Isn't it too distant to be so clear-cut? Besides, even if you subsidized the public funds, didn't you also use this money? But mother, shouldn't I have been using the public funds in the first place? At this moment, Ducheng happened to come in. Seeing his mother's unhappy expression, he immediately roared at me. Su Qingyue, you dare to make mother unhappy this early in the morning? Who gave you the gall to be so unfilial? Second master, you'd better figure out the situation first before you speak. Humph, no matter what the situation is, it's ultimately because of you that mother is unhappy. I couldn't be bothered to say more, and signaled for Kai Lian to bring the account book to Ducheng. When Ducheng saw the account book, his brows also furrowed tightly. Obviously, he was more aware of the residence's income and expenses. I just told mother that over the past 3 years, I've used my own dowry to subsidize the household by 10,000 taels. Since you've married into the Du family, you are a member of the family. Why be so calculative about contributing some money for household expenses? Back when I was in the countryside, which family's daughter-in-law didn't give her all for the family? The mother-in-law said with dissatisfaction. Second master, what do you say? I asked Ducheng directly. Ducheng's expression was grim. I will make it up to you tomorrow. The mother-in-law was shocked. Ah Cheng, you. In that case, I'll be waiting tomorrow. After leaving Song He Tang, the mother-in-law's blaming voice could still be heard. Ah Cheng, you're so foolish. That's 10,000 taels. It's not like she's short on money. Just don't give it to her. What can she do about it? Mother, if people find out that I've been using my wife's dowry since we got married, how can I still establish myself in the imperial court? Back when he sought to marry Su Qingyue, he was already secretly looked down upon, with people saying he was willing to marry an ugly woman for the Grand Tutor's connections. Now he absolutely cannot let people think he's also after Su Qingyue's dowry. I sneered inwardly. So Ducheng does care about face after all. I thought he was completely shameless. The next morning, just as I was about to go out, Duching had someone send me 10,000 taels in silver notes. I casually pulled out a few notes and walked outside in a pretty good mood. Unfortunately, on the way, I ran into Duching, who was taking a walk with Lu Wanning. It's almost time for the meal. Where are you going? Duching's tone was quite displeased, although I was wearing a veiled hat. With Xilian and Kaiwei by my side, Duching knew it was me. Besides, the only person in the entire Du residence who wears a veiled hat could only be me. Because of the mark on my face, Duching wished I would never go out, lest I embarrass him, to inspect the shops, and have lunch on the way. I continued, the public funds are tight. I'll use my own money to eat out, which can also save the residents some expenses. At this moment, a gust of wind happened to come by and blew up my veiled hat, revealing my masked face underneath. Duching happened to see it and was immediately stunned. Today I wore an intricately designed half mask, covering the mark on my face and revealing only half of my perfect face, which, set off by the exquisite mask, looked stunningly beautiful and mysterious. At the side, Lu Wanning saw that Duching was staring at me dumbfounded, and said with a fake smile, "Sister, how much can one meal cost? If you're restless staying in the manor, just say so. Why bother?" Lu Wanning didn't finish her sentence, just looked at me provocatively. I looked at Duching, and he snapped back to his senses, only to purse his lips and remain silent. Duching, of course, knew the current situation in the manor. He knew I was right, that me not eating this meal really would save the manor a bit of money. After all, yesterday there were only 10 taels of silver left in the accounts. Today, Duching had just returned 10,000 taels to me. Now, describing the manor's finances as strapped would be putting it nicely just to save face. I chuckled lightly. Little sister, you've just entered the manor, so you probably don't know. There's really not much money in the manor right now. Sister, the second master is the vice minister of revenue. You should use your brain before you say something like that. It's true that Duching is the vice minister of revenue, but with my father around before, and with him wanting to establish a reputation as an incorruptible official, he truly was clean-handed. Of course, the most crucial reason was that I never let him be short of money to spend, which made him a bit neglectful in this aspect. Seeing that the time I agreed to meet Xia Yunlan was approaching, I stopped bickering with them. If you don't believe me, little sister, just ask the second master and you'll know. After saying that, I left with Xilian and Kaiwei. By the time I arrived at my restaurant, Qian Weixuan, Xia Yunlan was already waiting in the Tianziho private room. Your humble servant greets your majesty. I curtsied to Xia Yunlan. Junior sister, no need for such formalities. Zhao Yi, hurry and help Miss Su to her seat. The chief eunuch by Xia Yunlan's side quickly came over to serve me. Miss Su, please, our master has been waiting for a long time. Once I was seated, Xia Yunlan ordered, serve the food. After all the dishes were served, I found they were all my favorite foods. Thank you, your majesty. Xia Yunlan smiled and said, as long as Qingyue is happy. Then he said to Zhao Yi, you may leave. Seeing this, I also gave Xilian and Kaiwei a look, and the two of them withdrew together. Only Xia Yunlan and I were left in the room. While serving me food, Xia Yunlan asked, tell me, what request does Qingyue have? I will surely grant it. I looked up. Xia Yunlan's eyes, when looking at me, held an unconcealable affection. I want a divorce from Duching, and I wish to ask your majesty for an imperial edict. Xia Yunlan was stunned for a moment. Then his dragon face showed great joy. Excellent. It was already evening when I returned to Longji courtyard. After my bath, Xilian said with a sigh while drying my hair, Miss, you are truly a peerless beauty that could topple nations. Every time I see you after your bath, I feel like I've seen a fairy. You're just a sweet talker. I guarantee. Xilian is speaking from the heart. Kaiwei, who was making the bed, turned her head to chime in, looking at my flawless face in the mirror, which resembled my mother's more and more. I too was slightly lost in thought. My mother, who was known as the #1 beauty of the Tianyu kingdom, had always been in poor health and passed away from illness when I was only 6 years old. When my mother was alive, she saw that my looks surpassed her own as a child, and worried that when I grew up, men would only be drawn to my appearance and I wouldn't meet someone who truly liked me. So she placed a chastity mark on my face. She told outsiders that I had suddenly contracted a terrible illness that was difficult to cure. Just like that, a conspicuous mark appeared on my face, ruining the beauty of my entire face, and my reputation as an ugly girl grew louder and louder in the capital city. My parents didn't hide the matter of the chastity mark from me. I knew it was their way of protecting me, a token of my mother's painstaking effort, and with the teachings of my grand tutor father, I didn't care about the outside rumors. I thought I would marry very late because of my face, but unexpectedly, someone came to ask for my hand right after my hairpin ceremony, and it was even the Tanhualang. What young girl doesn't dream of love? Even though I was a bit more mature than other girls my age, I still fantasized that my husband would be dashingly handsome and immensely talented, and since Ducheng didn't mind the flaw on my face and only valued what was inside me, I was even more overjoyed. My father was also deceived by Ducheng, and watched me get married, full of gratification. On my wedding night, Ducheng got dead drunk, so consummating the marriage was naturally out of the question, but at the time, I just thought he drank too much because he was overjoyed, so I didn't blame him. Who knew that the next day, he suddenly said there was a flood in the south, that a great man should concern himself with the world's affairs, and that he was going to provide disaster relief, but he had a gravely ill old mother at home, so he could only have me make the sacrifice of staying home to fulfill his filial duties for him. Although I was reluctant to part with Ducheng, my mother-in-law was truly in no condition for a long journey, and since Ducheng was now married, he naturally couldn't let only my sister-in-law take care of our mother-in-law, so I stayed behind. I never expected that Ducheng would be gone for 2.5 years. I finally waited until Ducheng returned, but he was still as polite and distant to me as he was before our marriage. I thought Ducheng just had a cold personality, so I put aside my reservations and took the initiative to please him, but Ducheng was unmoved. Later, he said that he had overworked and injured his body in the south these past 2 years, and that he would enter my room after he had recovered. I really thought he had suffered from having no one by his side to take care of him for over 2 years, so I tried my best to compensate him, taking care of him in every possible way, but he became even colder towards me. I looked for the reason within myself. It must be that in caring for my sick father, I ran back to my maiden home too often, thus neglecting the Dew mansion and making him unhappy. For this, I had been blaming myself in my heart. As for my mother-in-law's picking on me, I also felt I was in the wrong and bore it all by myself. 3 months passed. Not only did I not receive a response from my own husband, but instead, I received a message from Xiaoyunlan. Ducheng was having a private rendezvous with someone in an inn, and that woman also had a man. I got a room next to Ducheng and Lu Waning's, and witnessed the entire process of their secret meeting with my own eyes. It was also at that moment that I truly saw Ducheng's true colors. He said, "That ugly woman Su Qingyue. Even a single glance at her disgusts me. How could I ever touch her? With her looks, having her at home is sickening, and taking her out is embarrassing. If she weren't the Grand Tutor's daughter, how could I have married her? And she usually has no self-awareness." To avoid her, I stayed away from home for over 2 years, and now that I'm back, she shamelessly shoves herself in my face every day. I've really had enough. So it turned out, all the affection was just an act he put on. Ducheng loathed my face just like everyone else. Even worse, now that I had become his wife, he loathed me more than others, because I embarrassed him, was not presentable enough to be taken out, and would be gossiped about by the entire capital city. He couldn't let go of the connections and resources of my father, the current Grand Tutor, so he could only endure me on one hand while placating me on the other. On that very day, I completely gave up on Ducheng. At this time, father's condition suddenly worsened. I couldn't be bothered to have a falling out with Ducheng, and I didn't want my father to worry about me, so I just pretended like nothing was wrong and took care of him attentively. But father's condition still got worse day by day. I heard that Deju Temple was quite efficacious, so I decided to go there to pray for my father. As a result, I ran into robbers on the road and was even hit with a potent. Just when I was in despair, I ran into Xiaoyunlan. I only found out later that ever since I got married, it was inconvenient for Xiaoyunlan to see me often. This time, he had learned I was coming to Deju Temple and came specifically to run into me, not expecting to find me in trouble. Deju Temple was quite far from the imperial city, and being in the desolate countryside, it was impossible to find a doctor for me. Seeing that I was about to die from my body exploding, Xiaoyunlan sacrificed himself to save me. Actually, Xiaoyunlan and I were sort of childhood sweethearts. Xiaoyunlan is 3 years older than me. Besides my family, no one knew that Xiaoyunlan was also my father's disciple. Unlike an ordinary student, Xiaoyunlan had served tea to my father, and my father had only ever accepted this one disciple in his entire life. Before becoming the Grand Tutor, my father's students were already all over the world, and many high-ranking officials in the court were his former students. Xiaoyunlan is a prince, so his relationship with my father could not be known, lest it affect the court's situation. I was a daughter my parents had late in life, and they doted on me. After Xiaoyunlan became a disciple, he also took care of me like his own little sister. Later, When a mark appeared on my face, he wasn't disgusted in the slightest. In fact, he cherished me even more. I didn't know that over the long time we spent together, his feelings for me had quietly changed. He only confessed this to me after he removed the for me. Xiao Yunlan had originally planned to ask for my hand to be his princess consort after I came of age, but before he could even ask, he discovered that Du Qing and I were in love. Xiao Yunlan dejectedly stepped aside, and after he ascended the throne, he took great care of my husband, Du Qing, who was the Tanhualang personally appointed by his father emperor. It wasn't until he personally removed the for me that he learned I was still a virgin after nearly 3 years of marriage. Xiao Yunlan was both happy and furious, and wanted to save me from my suffering immediately. I didn't want to cause extra trouble at that time and rejected his help. After all, my father was still gravely ill, and I didn't want him to worry about me. Xiao Yunlan had to give up, but he promised me that he would help me whenever I needed anything. I still remember after the incident, when Xiao Yunlan saw my flawless face, his look of awe was followed by eyes full of heartache. He said, "Qingyue, you've suffered all these years." At that moment, it'd be a lie to say I wasn't moved. It was only then that I realized, all these years, besides my parents, there was one other person who had never despised me from beginning to end. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of Du Qing and Lu Waning's wedding. I don't know how much property Du Qing sold off again, but the wedding was surprisingly grand. It's just that the guests' gazes towards the bride and groom were filled with oddness, while towards me, they were filled with pity. There were even some straightforward officials who directly confronted Du Qing, calling him a villain for his actions, saying he had wronged me and, even more so, the Grand Tutor, then left in a huff after speaking, as if they had come just to scold Du Qing to his face. The Du family was quite angered, but Lu Waning was already pregnant, and they really had no other choice. So they had to pretend not to hear and just bite the bullet to carry on with the wedding. Although everyone looked down on Du Qing's actions, quite a few guests came today. One reason was his official position, and the second was that Du Qing was a favorite of His Majesty the Emperor, and His Majesty the Emperor valued him greatly. Du Qing, dressed in red wedding clothes, showed a satisfied look on his face when he saw that I hadn't been absent. After the ceremony, perhaps to show off how favored she was and wanting to embarrass me in public, Lu Waning deliberately stopped by my side before entering the bridal chamber, and thanked me in a delicate and soft voice. "Waning thanks older sister for the wedding gift you prepared for my husband and me." I really couldn't help but laugh out loud, daring to thank me here without even knowing what gift I had prepared. "How truly, what are you laughing at, sister?" Lu Waning asked, holding back her anger when she didn't see the scene she had expected. Du Qing also frowned. He thought I loved him so much that it was already a rare thing for me not to cause trouble today. So being able to laugh was a bit abnormal. "Little sister, you might as well wait a moment. It's not too late to thank me after you first see the wedding gift I prepared for you." "Su Qingyue, what do you mean?" Du Qing vaguely had a bad feeling. "Nothing, you'll know soon enough." Just as I finished speaking, I heard someone outside shout, "The Imperial Edict has arrived." Du Qing couldn't be bothered with me and hurriedly knelt. "Your subject, Du Qing, receives the edict." He thought the Imperial Edict was a sign of favor from His Majesty the Emperor. Zhao Yi said, "Lord Du, the Imperial Edict is for Miss Su." Then he ignored the stunned Du Qing and said to me with a smile, "Miss Su, please receive the edict. Your subject, Su Qingyue, receives the edict. By the mandate of heaven, the Emperor proclaims, the former Emperor, in consideration of former Grand Tutor Su Zhengliang's meritorious service in educating the princes, specially bestowed a blank Imperial Edict, stating that should there be any request in the future, presenting this Imperial Edict would guarantee its fulfillment." The day before yesterday, the Grand Tutor's daughter, Su Qingyue, presented this Imperial Edict, requesting that His Majesty approve the divorce between Su Qingyue and Du Qing. His Majesty stated that since it is the former Emperor's decree, it must be followed. Therefore, this edict is specially issued to approve Su Qingyue's divorce request. The divorce document has been prepared as well. From this day forward, Su Qingyue has no further connection to the Du family, and she is free to marry as she pleases. Respect this. This subject thanks you for your immense grace." I took the Imperial Edict and laughed inwardly. That Xiao Yunlan really knows how to make things up. How come I never knew the Su family had a blank Imperial Edict? "Xilian, Kaiwei, pack up my dowry, we're going back to the Su residence." At this moment, the stunned Du Qing finally realized what had happened. He grabbed me and said in a panic, "Su Qingyue, you can't leave. Who said I wanted to divorce you?" Du Qing was truly panicked. He married Su Qingyue for the Su Grand Tutor's connections. Although the Su Grand Tutor had passed away, His connections in the court remained. If Su Qingyue divorced him, what would he do in the future? He was originally isolated and helpless in the court. It was precisely because he latched onto the Su family that he could have a meteoric rise. Even His Majesty the Emperor's current favor towards him was more than half because he was the Su family's son-in-law. He did look down on Su Qingyu's ugly face, but he had never thought of divorcing her. Lord Du, you and I have no relationship now, so please show some self-respect. Qingyue, little sister Wanning. Oh no, I should call you Mrs. Du now. Lord Du and I have already divorced, so now that you've married him, you are the only official wife. I wonder, is Mrs. Du satisfied with this wedding gift I sent? Lu Wanning was quiet and silent at this moment, and I had no interest in what she was thinking, so I turned and left, unwilling to let me leave just like that. Duqing was blocked by the guards brought by Zhao Yi, and I swaggered out of the Du residence. Back at the Su residence, Xiao Yunlan was already waiting for me. I walked forward, gave a curtsy, and said sincerely, "Thank you so much, Big Brother Yunlan." Heh, you little heartless thing, you're finally willing to call me Big Brother Yunlan. Seeing this, the people around all tactfully withdrew. Just as I stood up, I was pulled into Xiao Yunlan's arms. Now that you are a free woman, when will you marry me and become my empress? I just got divorced today. What's your hurry? How can I not be in a hurry? I've already waited for you for over 10 years. Over 10 years. I was just a child back then. Xiao Yunlan was uncharacteristically a little embarrassed. I know, although you were a child back then and I wasn't much older, but I decided then that I would only marry you as my wife. I don't want anyone else. You don't want anyone else. Heh, then what about your current 3 palaces and 6 courtyards? I haven't. I've never even touched them. Then haven't you ruined their entire lives? Xiao Yunlan gave a bitter smile. Do you think those women who entered the palace are good people? I smoothed Xiao Yunlan's furrowed brow. What if I had spent my whole life with Duqing? Would you have never favored them for your whole life? What about the royal heirs? I'll be honest, don't be angry. If you and Duqing had really spent a lifetime together, maybe after a few years I would have slowly come to terms with it, and even if I still couldn't, but after a long time, for the sake of the royal heirs, I would have had to favor them. I gently buried my head in Xiao Yunlan's embrace and didn't blame him. You are the monarch of a nation. This is your responsibility. Xiao Yunlan hugged me, his face filled with happiness. But, the heavens have been kind to me, letting me wait until I had you heir. I smiled too. I also never thought the heavens would be so kind to me, that when I felt all alone and helpless, there was still a fool who was always waiting for me and protecting me. In the imperial court, His Majesty the Emperor's attitude toward Duqing changed, in a way that was visible to the naked eye. Although Duqing wasn't demoted or dismissed, he would be reprimanded and have his salary docked by His Majesty the Emperor from time to time. Of course, all the ministers went along with His Majesty the Emperor. Before long, Duqing found himself back in the same situation as when he first entered the imperial court. Duqing had never realized the consequences of losing me more clearly than at this moment, so he came to my door again and again asking to see me, even going so far as to kneel and repent. Qingyue, only after you left did I realize the person I truly like is you. Lu Wanning and I. It was all her seducing me. You used to be so good to me. I know you love me. You left because you blamed me for marrying Lu Wanning as an equal wife. Don't worry, I'll divorce her immediately after she gives birth to the child. Will you come back with me? Okay, from now on, I'll only love you, and I won't take any concubines in this lifetime. I'll only love you alone. Duqing, I was blind before. I don't blame anyone. There's absolutely no future for us. You should leave. No, Qingyue, you love me. Are you just impatient to wait for Lu Wanning to give birth to the child? Fine then, I'll go back and divorce her right now. We'll get back together once I divorce her. Duqing's crazed appearance annoyed me to no end, so I had people throw him directly out of the Su residence. After that, I would bring a few extra people wherever I went, and have them block Duqing, forbidding him from appearing in front of me. Later, Kaiwei found out that after getting married, Lu Wanning flew into a rage when she saw that the Du residence was really just an empty shell. The people of the Du mansion put up with her endlessly because of the child in her belly, but Lu Wanning still managed to turn the whole place into a chaotic mess. Old Madame Du also blamed Duqing every day for not making me have a change of heart. Duqing's career at the imperial court was also not going well, and he was extremely irritable every day. In just 1 month, he became utterly haggard, losing all of his former handsome elegance. I just treated it as gossip. After all, I had already accepted Xiao Yunlan's proposal and was very busy. 3 months later, The grand wedding of the Emperor and Empress. Xiao Yunlan had always protected me well before, and it wasn't until our wedding day that he announced to the world that I was the Empress. Some ministers vehemently objected. Su Qingyue is a remarried woman. How can she be worthy of being the Empress? Other ministers also admonished, for the dignified Empress of a nation to have a damaged appearance, it is the entire Tianyu nation that will lose face. Xiao Yunlan was unmoved, and declared with imperial authority, whoever dares to speak rudely of the Empress again will have their entire 9 generations of kin executed. The wedding proceeded smoothly. His Majesty the Emperor issued a decree, for the grand wedding of the Emperor and Empress, the entire nation shall celebrate, and a 3-day banquet will be held in the Imperial Palace. On the 2nd day, I appeared at the banquet dressed in magnificent attire, without the mask to cover it. A peerlessly beautiful face that could topple nations was revealed before everyone. Everyone's eyes widened, and Du Qing even stood up in shock. Beloved Minister Du, Xiao Yunlan's majestic voice rang out. Du Qing was jolted back to his senses. The Emperor's intimidating aura made him break out in a cold sweat, but he still plucked up the courage to speak. Forgive me, His Majesty the Emperor. This humble servant was just too surprised by the EMP. Her Majesty the Empress face. Oh, the Empress face, Xiao Yunlan said, seemingly casually. It wasn't an illness to begin with, it's just that my mother-in-law, in order to protect the Empress, specifically placed a chastity mark on her face. Now that the Empress is married to me, her face has naturally returned to its original state. Boom. One stone sets off 1,000 ripples. The entire banquet hall was filled with the sound of everyone's discussions. If the mark on the Empress' face was a chastity mark, then before, Shu, do you have a death wish? Discussing the Empress. Right. In that case, Lord Du. And I thought Lord Du genuinely treated. Everyone wanted to gossip, but given my current status, basically nothing was appropriate to say out loud. Yet, they were suffering from holding it in. And in the end, all eyes turned to Du Qing. Du Qing felt as if he had been viciously slapped across the face, then stripped naked and thrown in front of the crowd, to be ridiculed by all. He couldn't take it anymore. His body trembled as if he had fallen into endless despair and regret, looking like a madman. Impossible. How could this be? Impossible. Guards, Xiao Yunlan ordered. Lord Du is not feeling well. Escort him out of the palace. Du Qing was dragged away by the guards like a walking corpse. Although he had left the Imperial Palace, he couldn't shake off everything that happened in the banquet hall. One day, 6 months later, Kaiwei came to report. Your Highness, there's a commotion at the Du residence today. What's the commotion about? Today is the 1-month celebration for the Du family's eldest legitimate grandson, and during the Zhuozhou ceremony, Lu Wanning's lover suddenly appeared, shouting that Lu Wanning is his woman and the child is also his. The Du family tried to seize him, but unexpectedly, the man came prepared and brought helpers with him. So for a while, the two sides were in a standoff. Some busybody invited the capital prefecture magistrate over, and right now, he's trying to rule on who Lu Wanning and the child actually belong to. I leisurely trimmed the flower branches. I was thinking of letting the Du family raise someone else's child for a few more years, but I didn't expect Lu Wanning to be exposed so quickly. The people who came to the Du residence for the banquet today never expected that after half a year, they would get to see another spectacle involving Du Qing. To be honest, this former Tanhualang of theirs has been continuously striving on the path of providing gossip for the people of the capital city ever since he passed the exam. 3 years ago, how many young ladies in their boudoirs fell for the handsome Tanhualang? In the end, he turned around and married the ugliest woman in the capital city at the time. Since you married her, you should have treated her well, but who would have thought you wouldn't consummate the marriage with her for 3 years? And in order to marry another woman, he forced the Grand Tutor's daughter to divorce him. But who would have thought that his remarried ex-wife would turn out to be a devastatingly beautiful woman? Just when I thought that was the limit, now he doesn't even know if the child is his own. The look in everyone's eyes as they looked at Du Qing was an unreadable mix of sympathy and schadenfreude. Vice Minister Das, life experience is truly something else. Zhang Biao, you say Lu Wanning is your woman. What proof do you have? The Jingzhaoing asked the man who claimed to be Lu Wanning's man. Lu Wanning has a leaf-shaped, thumb-sized red birthmark on her inner left thigh, Zhang Biao said, looking at Du Qing and Lu Wanning with utter malice. That Lu Wanning, now that she's living a good life, she doesn't care about him anymore. He just wanted to borrow a bit of money from her to pay off his gambling den debts. He even told her he'd pay her back once he won it back. But I can't believe that actually wouldn't lend it to him, since she only wants her and her son to live lavishly. Then she can't blame him for a mutual destruction. Du Qing staggered upon hearing this. The last shred of hope in his heart was mercilessly destroyed. Listening to the surrounding chatter, his vision went black, his eyes were bloodshot, and the look he gave Lu Wanning was terrifying and horrifying, as if he wanted to tear her to pieces, without a word being said. Just by looking at Du Cheng's reaction, the crowd knew that what Zhang Biao said was true. Cough. The Jing Zhaoyin coughed. Just as he was hesitating on how to speak to save Du Cheng a little face, he saw Du Cheng suddenly rush at Lu Wanning, his hands tightly gripping Lu Wanning's neck, his eyes splitting with rage. How dare you? Go die. Lu Wanning's eyes widened in terror, her hands desperately clawing at the large hands on her neck, but the owner of the hands had already lost his mind, his strength so great she couldn't budge them in the slightest. In just a few breaths, Lu Wanning's face had already begun to turn purple. The Jing Zhaoyin was greatly alarmed. Quick, quick, pull Lord Du away. The scene instantly descended into chaos. After a struggle, the crowd finally rescued Lu Wanning from Du Cheng's grasp. Lu Wanning had already passed out, a circle of purple-black choke marks on her neck, sinister and terrifying. Lord Du, calm down, calm down. It'll be bad if someone dies. The Jing Zhaoyin looked at Du Cheng sympathetically. Although any man would find this unbearable, he still had to act according to the law. Du Cheng couldn't calm down at all, since Zhang Biao mentioned the birthmark on that Lu Wanning, then the child he mentioned was also his. The moment he thought of this, Du Cheng felt like he couldn't breathe again. Ahem, Lord Du, this child, you see, blood drop kinship test. Du Cheng was about to grind his teeth to dust. Things have already come to this point. He had long lost all his face and dignity, and there was no need to hide it anymore. The Jing Zhaoyin ordered people to prepare the items, and Du Cheng, Zhang Biao, and the child began the blood drop kinship test. Soon, the results came out. The child was indeed Zhang Biao's. The surroundings fell silent for a moment, and everyone looked at Du Cheng. Du Cheng slumped into his chair. After a moment, he suddenly began to laugh softly, and slowly the laughter grew louder and louder, until it became a maniacal, unstoppable laugh. He laughed until his whole body trembled, laughed until tears streamed down his face, and finally, he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood and collapsed. Old Madame Du had already fallen ill from anger when she learned of Lu Wanning's impurity and had been sent back to Songhe Hall. At this time, with Du Cheng and Lu Wanning both unconscious, Du Cheng's elder sister-in-law was suddenly the only master left in the Du mansion. Everyone, I am truly sorry about today. I must trouble you all to return home for now. The Du mansion will be sure to visit and apologize on another day. For once, the Du family's elder sister-in-law's mind was sharp. This was her first time being in charge of the household. Although the Du mansion had utterly lost face and the timing was somewhat inappropriate, she was secretly a little happy inside. With this incident, Lu Wanning would certainly be divorced, now that her mother-in-law was seriously ill, and the second master couldn't possibly remarry immediately. Wouldn't the power to manage the household fall to her? Also, this child is no longer of the Du family, so in the future, she and the second master, could it be possible again? The eldest sister-in-law of the Du family blissfully envisioned the future as she saw everyone to the door. Although they couldn't attend the first-month banquet of the Du family's eldest legitimate grandson, everyone was satisfied, and as they left, each of them still seemed to want more. That afternoon, Du Cheng divorced his wife immediately after waking up. No matter how much Lu Wanning cried and begged, Lu Wanning and the child were kicked out of the Du residence, and Zhang Biao, who had been waiting at the gate, directly took the mother and son away. As for how the mother and son would be treated by Zhang Biao after that, no one knew. In the following days, Du Cheng became the focus of gossip in the capital city. From becoming a Tanhua scholar to his child's first-month banquet, all kinds of his experiences were dug up and discussed again. My lady, today in the Golden Luan Hall, Du Cheng resigned from his official post to His Majesty the Emperor. I heard His Majesty has already approved it, Kai Wei said with schadenfreude as she returned from outside. I nodded. As expected, Silian took over the conversation. From the moment he betrayed Our Lady, it was destined that he wouldn't last long in the capital city. As for being an official, what kind of thick skin would he need to endure the stares and gossip of his colleagues? Kai Wei covered her mouth and giggled. For a grand Tanhua scholar to end up like this, he must be the first in our Tianyuguo kingdom. If his intentions had been upright, even if he hadn't targeted me, he would have had a decent future. Now, I suppose it's his fate. Half a year later, I gave birth to a prince. Xia Yunlan immediately made the child the crown prince. From then on, my status and position became even more secure. I looked at my adorable child, my incomparably handsome husband. With a life like this, what more could I ask for?